Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome to my channel. So glad you're here. Um, we are going to make a succulent card today. Um, I'm popping on here kind of later than usual, and I have a card I really need to make. So we're just going to work on that today. I have these three succulents. They're real, and we have a family member who was diagnosed with cancer this last week, and I wanted to make them a card. And I found these at the grocery store the other day, and I thought they were just so pretty and I knew exactly what to do with them. So I'm going to pot those up later. And right now I'm going to make a card to make it all make sense. And it's going to say cancer sucks, but it's going to have succulents on it and it's going to be pretty. So that is what I'm going to work on this morning. I hope you'll join me as I make this card, figure out what I'm doing, get a design in my head, and just go for it. I was thinking about using one of Kendra's sketches. Let me just take a look real quick. I think I'm going to use potentially this one right here. I really love this one. This is sketch 13 from Kendra's card challenge number 17. I really love that sketch. It ended up being one of my favorites. Hi, Miss Michelle. The last one I made ended up being one of my favorites, so I think I'll go with that. So let's make a card. All right. I hope you all are doing well. I am going to cut down, actually, I'm not going to cut this one down. I'm going to cut down a different piece of watercolor paper as soon as I can find it. I had a whole stack of it, and I thought it was right there, and it's not. Let me grab another piece of it. I think this watercolor paper is called You Create, and I've been using it lately, and I'm just really enjoying it. So I'm going to use this. It's a 9 by 12. I'm going to make my own patterned paper with these stamps and this paper. Let's try that. Hi, Miss Jana. Hey, Kim. Good morning. How's it going? All right. So what I'm kind of wanting to do, I love the stamp set. I have not used it in a while. It's so beautiful, you guys. So I'm going to stamp these different things, and it's going to be kind of like a top view, like you're looking down into, you know, a bouquet of succulents. So let's do this. I'm going to stamp all these separately. Birds already singing. Hi, Miss Esther. Okay, let's do this. Should probably grab a smaller block. That one's just barely big enough, but it'll work. Okay, I'm going to be putting water on this, so I'm going to stamp. I need to stamp in an archival or like a VersaFine ink, something that is not water reactive. Some dye inks are not water reactive as well, which is great, but I think I will stamp, instead of in black, I do think I'll stamp in this green. Let's test this Lawn Fawn real quick. I don't think Lawn Fawn is water reactive. I don't have a lot of archival inks. I just kind of have a rainbow, but I do love green, so I do actually have a dark green, and even brown could work, but I'm going to use brown with the watercolor. So let's take a look at these. Hey Sean, good morning. How you doing? I saw that you were having techie fun. Hope you got it worked out. I saw your community post. I don't get techie unless I absolutely have to. But I commend those who do. Okay. So I don't have to worry about this one. This is archival, but I want to stamp out this lawn fawn and see if it's water reactive. I don't use these inks very often, like hardly ever anymore. Once I got the oxides, they just took over my life. So let's check it. We're going to test it on a scrap of paper and see what happens. I am going to let it, anything's going to be water reactive if you don't let it dry. So I am going to let it dry, and I just have this sitting here. And that's fine. Okay. So redo. Hi, Paula K. Hi, Ginger Snap. Good morning. How are you? Welcome. Oh, this is one of the water pens I don't like because no water comes out of it. Oh, it's so annoying. Let's see. Ooh, it's coming out now because I loosened it. All right. Cool. I can handle that. That's not too water reactive. Cool. So Lawn Fawn is going to work. All right. That means we have 3 greens that we can use. I'm going to go ahead and do quite a few of these larger ones. Okay, so when you're making your own patterned paper with your stamps, always start with your largest stamp. You start with the largest and you work your way down from there. You fill in with your smallest stamps. At least that's what I've always done. Yeah, almost 8 p.m. for Miss Michelle in Australia. So it's 6:03 for me in Texas. So I won't be live this weekend, you guys. For one, it's me and my hubby's anniversary. Well, our anniversary is on Monday, but we're celebrating this weekend. And I already have 2 collaborations that I'm a part of every month. One is the Paper Stash Smash collab, and the other one is the sheet load of cards. So I don't go live on days when I have other videos coming out. So no lives this weekend. That's unusual. I usually am live on a Saturday later in the morning. That's when a lot of people get to catch me who don't get to catch me during the week when I'm live so early in the morning. So I've got 3 large stamps. I'm not going to use this whole piece of paper today and my card, I don't think, but we'll stamp it up anyways. These blocks are kind of problemsome, so I'm getting a little bit of smudging here, which you probably can't see because this thing's so narrow. My finger gets in the ink and then gets on the paper, but it won't matter because I'll cover it with watercolor, or just like this, I'll just restamp it. There we go. So there is that one. I think I'll pick, I don't know if I have a cool blue, but I have one more that actually matches one of the plants I'm giving. So it would be nice if I had it in like a cool blue color. Because some succulents are. I have this one actually that I got from, I need to test it. I got this one in a set from Crafty Critta. I bought a set of their they had Altenew. They have spellbinders. They carry all kinds of stuff, plus all their amazing foils. So let's test this one and see. I'm gonna let it dry, or force it to dry a little here, and make sure it's not water reactive. Didn't get a great impression there. Oh, cool. Non-water reactive. Yippee. So let's use that for this one. I need to leave some space. You notice how I'm leaving space around these? I need to leave some space because I do want a watercolor. That's pretty. We'll see how this piece of paper goes. It might work. It might not, to be honest. It would work really well if I heat embossed it. If I was heat embossing all of these stamped images, it would be even better. Obviously, I'm not. Hey, Paula. Hi, Bethany. Hey, Mary. Good morning. And Miss Angie, how's it going? Okay. I don't think I'm going to worry about just doing this whole page, you guys, because we've got to be moving and grooving over here. Okay, I'm just getting most of it. So there's that one, and then my last succulent is here. I don't think I have enough space there, but I have enough space here to work it in. And yeah, the little ones are just great to kind of fill in gaps, your smaller stamps. And if you have more time, you just keep stamping. And before you know it, you have your own patterned paper. Gonna have to have more dirt between those. I'm gonna put one more right here of this one. And then potentially run this paper, but we're gonna move on to the next step. That one will go right there. Okay. Now, I even have some smaller ones. I'm not going to fill in with them yet, but look how pretty these are. I'm going to bring it up close so you can see just how gorgeous these stamps are. These are old. They're from a place called, I think I got them at Simon Says Stamp, but they were from a company called Power Poppy. Power Poppy. I don't see a date, but they're a few years old. The set is called Succulent Singles. Does that say March 2014? No, 2017. Yeah, man, can y'all tell? I keep saying everything in 2017. In 2017, I went a little nuts. Just buying all the things in the hobby. I was new enough then just to buy everything. Okay. So now, as I'm smashing my stash, a lot of it is 2017. Okay. Hey, Dawn. I want to use my new watercolors for this. So I thought these were Kuretake, but they're not. But the weird thing is they're sold with Kuretake, and they work just like Kuretake. So I don't know. I don't think they're Kuretake. But when I was looking, I thought they were. So let's get some dirt on this and work it in and see how we like it. I'm just going to kind of work towards this top edge to see what it looks like up here, if I like it, that kind of thing. And if I don't, I still have this whole sheet of paper. I don't want to just, like, when you're experimenting, don't just start right here. I would recommend doing this, starting up at the top edge of something. That way, if you don't like it or you need to pivot and change, you can. But it looks like dirt to me. And I like it. Now I'm going to drop in while it's still wet. By the way, I'm going wet on dry. My paper is bone dry, which is exactly what I need for control, because I'm not wanting to get any water in the succulents at all. So it's important for me to go on dry paper here so that I can control the watercolor and keep it out of the areas that I don't want it going into. I do want variation in the dirt. So while it's wet, I'm going to drop in a couple of colors, because dirt just isn't one flat, smooth color, especially potting soil, right? Which is what these will be going into. At this stage in the game, I'm not necessarily thinking of coloring the succulents, but we'll see. We'll see if we do. This is drying pretty quickly, so I'm reactivating it, re-wetting it real quick so I can go ahead and drop in that next color. Let me pick what that's going to be. So I've been working with 307. Let me try a little bit of this 320 in here. And I just kind of want to drop this in like this and let it move and do what it's going to do on its own without being supervised. It's going to take on a life of its own. It's Friday, y'all. I'm so excited. I have had the longest week at work this week. It was so funny on, I think it was Monday was wild. Then Tuesday was pretty wild. And I think it was Wednesday. I'm losing track now. When a coworker reached out and was like, maybe today's going to be calmer. And I was like, yeah, maybe that would be cool. And it wasn't. Yeah, it was Wednesday. So Friday feels good this week. I just went ahead and blended out that color. These watercolors are not like any other. They're so opaque. It's almost like working with gouache, to be honest. Gouache is a paint that's like kind of a hybrid between acrylic paint, you know, the little craft paint tubes that you can buy. They're 50 cents. Well, they used to be. Um, at a craft store. It's kind of like that acrylic paint and watercolor is what gouache is. Um, it's water reactive. It never sets fully. So, but they're very opaque like this. But these are watercolors. They do reactivate. That was too much water. Let's let that do its thing though, because it's going to do something interesting having that much water. Okay, so I need a square of this that is about, I have to decide, about 4.5. I know, Fazzy. It's a school day. I know. Thank you for telling me. I think I'll do about 4.5 by maybe 6.5. We'll see. So I'm obviously not going to paint in this whole paper. My boss is on the job over here telling me it's a school day and everything. I'm just going to paint in enough that will get me a card today. Aww. Right, Paula? That's a great idea. Oops, we got some water there. We don't want that. Oh gosh, and now we got water there. Let me tighten up my brush. I'm working with an unruly brush. Danger, danger. It's a great idea to write down that kind of information, especially dates, because a lot of the stuff isn't dated. I mean, I don't date my paper pads. So if you want to know what year you bought it, you'll have to be like Paula and write it down. Write it on there. But hopefully you just chop it up and use it. But hey, who am I to judge? I've got stuff from when I first started. I've got plenty of it. I need to work my way through it all. It's hard to cut it all up, especially when you really like it. Okay. Too bad this one didn't get a good impression over here. Now I have to decide, you guys, if I'm going to color these in. And in case you missed the beginning of the video, we're making like a Cancer Sucks card today, because it does. Yeah, but we're doing succulents, and I'm giving this card with a little bouquet of succulents. This is one of those things where it's hard, you know. One of those topics it's hard to craft for, but in reality, we need these cards, unfortunately. Now, once I get enough of this, which I think I've just about got it, I think what I'm going to do is splatter this with some white acrylic paint. I need to go a little further, just a little bit further. I'm going to dip into this darker brown now and drop it in to get some variation. This stuff dries so fast. So it dries like it's an acrylic. And this one's still so wet up here. My puddle of water. Okay. So let me take my ruler out and figure out. I've got easily about 5.5. And this is about 6. Okay. I need to do a little more, is what that's telling me. You guys, this water pen. Ugh. Some supplies you just can't buy on the cheap. I bought these super cheap on Amazon because I could get sets of them like really, really cheap. And I wanted to make my own kind of like mermaid markers. If y'all know what those are, from Jane Davenport. I have so many inks and ink refillers and stuff like that that I wanted to try to make my own mermaid markers at one time. Yeah, no, these would not have worked. But you know how it is. You get something, you paid money for it, so you force yourself, well, at least this is how I am, force myself to use it. Even if it's lame. So I wouldn't recommend buying the cheap water brush markers because they can just be so frustrating. And these are really uncontrollable because I can't get them to work like they should, which is not ideal. That being said, some cheap brushes are my favorite too when I'm working with like acrylic or gouache or a different medium other than watercolor. Let me go in. I'm going to bring in some of this warmer color now. Change up the color a little bit. And I'm going to come down this line and then we're going to be done with this, you guys. Oh man, that hurts, right? When you have doubles, Bethany. At least it hurts me when I think I have to have something and I buy it and then I realize I already had that. It happens. It happens to all of us. Y'all are going to hear my son on the treadmill. What is he doing on the treadmill at this hour? I don't know. But good on him for exercising. Okay, now we're going to have plenty of this. And Bethany, as I sit here and paint this, I think, oh, you know what? I had some succulent patterned paper. But that's okay. All right. Now I'm trying to decide, what do y'all think? Should I paint the succulents? Yeah, everybody is loving that idea, Paula. Dawn wants to log her dates as well. Excellent idea. I think that's also good, like, if you're just like, you go through your stash and you're like, okay, I think it makes it easier to use the stuff that you've been hoarding. If you see a date and you're like, okay, I've had that since 2016. The time has come for me to use it. Use it or lose it. I know Diane does that on her channel, the Messy Palette AU, that, you know, use it or lose it. So there is that. Trying to decide if I'm going to color the succulent, paint the succulents. Yes, I'm making a succulent card. Paint a couple of the succulents. Well, that's a good idea, Kim. Hey, Sala. Well, that's true, Sala. Sometimes just because it costs more doesn't mean it's worth it. That's right. But I guess, I mean, like, there are some really reputable watercolor companies that make these pens, and they are far better. Like, far better. The thing is, you know, when you're first starting, I'm going to go ahead and tear this. It's probably a bad idea. It is. I'm going to rip my paper if I do that. I'll tear it later. Or just cut it. But you know, when you're first starting with something and you might think, oh man, this is not for me. I don't like doing this. It's not, I'm switching my brushes. It's too hard or something. Sometimes it's not. It's your supplies. Okay, so in that case, we're going to paint a couple. That was a good idea, Kim. I like that. I'm going to really lighten this. I only need a little bit, and let's start with this one here that did not get a good stamped impression. It's the perfect candidate to paint in. If you weren't here at the beginning, I used ink that was non-water reactive, so I won't lose the detail in the line by watercoloring it. I keep wanting to go straight into the palette. If I go straight into the palette, it's going to be too dark and it's going to cover my lines. Now, I'm not going to do a super fancy job of watercoloring these, but you could start like this, depending on how much time you have. You could start by laying down some watercolor, let it dry, and then come back in with watercolor, or not watercolor, but come back in with like colored pencils and add detail if you want. I'm going to kind of do this in an illustrative way where I don't worry about getting every part of it painted. It's going to be like a little more illustrative, I think. So all of these will be the same color. I gotta hustle. Gotta hustle. Hey, Beth. Beth, I gotta send you that card. I've not forgotten about you. It's just been bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Setting me down, going to be lurking. Oh, oh, how sweet. A tea party at school. She gets to dress up like a queen. Oh my gosh. It's like the Alice in Wonderland dreams we all, well, okay, maybe not we all, but I certainly dream of. A tea party with my friends. How fun. I hope she has the best time, Bethany. How sweet is that? What a good teacher. You guys, I read Alice in Wonderland the other day. Well, okay, it's probably a month ago, but I read the whole book in one day. It's just such a fun story. It's so fun. Okay. That's some of them, Kim. Let's cut it up and see if we want to do any more. I think I will splatter this with white real quick. Put my watercolors up, my mystery watercolors that I love. Okay. Yeah, these are Power Poppy. They're from 2017. I bought them on Simon Says Stamp. I think it was a British company. I'm making that up. Powerpoppy.com. You could look and see. I'm making it up that it's British. I really don't know. I don't know why I think that. I could just be off my rocker and giving you incorrect information. Completely possible. All right, so I'm gonna get some of this ink. Where does it go? Right onto the succulent. I want it more in the dirt. When you're splattering, you get what you get. It's an interesting sound. Does y'all's Instagram make interesting sounds all the time now? I bet that, oh, I don't think that was, maybe that was Instagram. It's always singing now. Didn't used to do that before. Okay. Now, I'm going to hit this with my heat gun, hang out with y'all. Aww. Well, Diane's funny, that's for sure. Hey, Zane. Oh, lots of digitals. Oh, she went that route. I understand. Oh, I don't know yet, Angie. Let me talk to my hubby today about it and see, because I don't know if it's really going to be everyone or if it's just going to be me. Is it the Royals? I did miss it, by the way. Yeah, I'm adding a little plant food to the soil. That's right. I'm tempted, you guys, to paint the centerpiece, but leave these. The cool thing is I can make this card and go in with my colored pencils and finish it off later if I need to. Hey, Linda. How you doing? I'm so glad you're going to be at Paper Ganza, you and Sharon Castor. I can't wait to hang out with y'all. And everyone. Okay, I just know this is not dry right here. It's not dry. But that stuff takes a little while, and especially when it gets like globbed on like it did. Okay, but the rest of the paper is pretty dry. Not 100%, but pretty dry. All right, let's think about a 5x7 card and what size we want to cut this down to. So let me look at my sketch again. And now I have to think about my paper too, not only the size that I want to do. I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a 4x6, y'all. Okay. Now I have to think about like what portion of this that I want. I think I'm going to turn it this way. Oh boy, now I'm actually hitting the succulents. And I have real dirt on my project. How authentic is that? Okay. I have to make sure that I have enough space over here to get a good clean edge if I want it to be at 4. So let's do a slice right there. That's a pretty piece. And then turn. And get a slice right there. All right. And 6. Okay, so this is our piece. And I like that it's not centered. There's no focal point. I like that. I do think I will color that in though. But I may do it after we're done here. Okay, so this is 4x6. I need a matting layer for it. Oh, these poor plants. They're gonna get battered if they are on my craft table. This is not a safe space for plants. Moving those off to the side. I need to pick a background color. This is all good. Like, I will still use these. Like, this could go inside the card. This is a really pretty strip here. So that can go inside of our card. I need my scraps. I'm gonna see. My scraps are getting pretty tiny, y'all. I don't really have pieces anymore that are big enough. I have these two. Oh, maybe. Here's the question. Do I want to mat this one with black and have more of the card be gray? No. I'm going to mat this with gray and have more of the card be black. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So let's do that. Let's see how wide this is. And cut it down a little bit. Cut it down to, let's do 6 3/4. It's almost there already. You have to go back in people again. Oh no. So we're doing 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. It's a common thing around here to do this size because I like rectangles, I guess. Oh, I did that bigger than I needed to. Well, shucks. That's okay. Let's see. Let's do, what size is this one? Okay, we can do a 5x7 out of this one. Can y'all hear my son on the treadmill? His happy little feet. And I'm gonna put one more, I'm gonna put one more mat behind this, I think. This mirror cardstock. It's another one of those tonic papers, and it's very mirror. But I think I'm going to put that on there. this over here. It's so mirror, it's kind of annoying. So hold on a second. It's 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, right? So let me try 5. Nope, 5 is too big. All right. That's still too big. Oh, because it's 4 by 6. Dun, da, da, dun. Okay. Just a few slices to figure it out. But I figured it out. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think that is the ticket right there. That's the ticket. You only get a little bit of that gold. And I know, y'all, I would love to cut out like this whole centerpiece that we're not using. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out this thing. I never use it. And I'm going to put this on here. And I'm going to cut some of this out because you won't see it. And I'm going to save myself a little bit of this paper. It's not going to be like a perfectly square piece of paper or anything, or perfect rectangle, especially when I'm moving this piece. But this is a great way to save paper. I hardly ever do this because I don't like the sagging. So we'll have to see. I might put some more paper in the middle, like scrap paper. I got this for Michelle, the Crafty Critter foil. I got that Spellbinders cutting mat so I could cut foil. But in this case, I'm using it with my craft knife to cut this. Okay. We're gonna get there, folks. This is one of those cards. It just takes a while when you're making your own pattern paper, and I took the long way. Which just made me think of Smokey and the Bandit. Got a long way to go and a short time to get there. That is pretty much sums up my creative lives. My YouTube live. Long way to go and a short time to get there, especially if it's Monday through Friday. Okay. Angie, I'm so excited you're going to be there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about Paper Ganza. Like, I can't even tell you. Okay. I am going to fill in this little spot right here with some scraps. just for good measure. I didn't measure very good, but for good measure, I'm going to put that right there. And that is literal dirt on my cart. There is dirt on my desk. Guys, I'm a hot mess. That's what happens when you bring plants to the craft table. He's going to be like, wow, it really looks like dirt. Oh, because it is. I sprinkled real dirt on your card. Thank you. You guys, y'all have been so amazing. I want to thank everyone for their support of my teeny tiny paper company. Because guess what? I had to place an order for 5 different paper packs this week. I was running out of 5 of them. That is a good problem to have, and I just want to thank you all. So if I do sell out of 4 Seasons or Easter Blessings like this weekend, don't worry about it. More is on the way. Okay, here we go. This is going here. See where we're headed? This is where we're headed. Okay. Yes, Esther, because I've been so busy at work, I haven't been able to finish it. I was just talking to Desiree about that last night. I have a couple of pages left to design. It's going to be so cool, and I'm hoping to have it out this weekend. It's going to be totally different than any other digital that I've designed so far, and I'm excited about it. I haven't been rushing it because, you know, I want to do a good job. But I hope to have it out this weekend. Digitals take a long time, y'all. All the paper takes a long time. Like, a digital paper pack can take over 20 hours easily. I should have cut this down before now, but this sketch calls for, let's revisit Kendra's, what sketch I'm doing, sketch 13. It calls for this diagonal piece. It would have made more sense if I would have cut it down with the watercolor paper. Yeah, Diane, you design them, you know, they just take a while. So yeah, it would have been really cool if I would have cut it down like that. You could run it all the way across the card, but I don't want to. I want to stay with the sketch, and we're gonna just make it work. But I had to decide. I think I want it going this way. I definitely want it going this way. And now when I come back in, like if I decide to color this in with my colored pencils, I only have to color that much of it. Okay, so let's cut this down. Well, yeah, I mean, 20 hours, right, that's a minimum. That's the minimum amount of time it can take. That's when I'm doing just like a lot of backgrounds. Okay. Looky there. Made it work. Woohoo! Okay, so that's gonna go there. And I need to figure out real quick what else is gonna go there. I think, we're going to have this in there. And then there it is. I got one of these, y'all. It's better, but it's not perfect. He is not like the kind of person to really like a sentiment like this, but I'm doing it anyways. I'm doing it anyways. All right. But then I'm thinking about putting Cancer Sucks right there. Yeah, I thought this one was going to be like far better than the one I was using before, but it's not. I got a little bit of ghosting there. I'm going to let it be. Hey, Miss Shay, I hope you're feeling better. Glad to see you here. Okay. We just about have it, you guys. Pick up this piece. Excuse me, are you moving? No, okay. There we go. That's gonna go just like that. It's maybe a little longer than it needs to be over here on this edge, but I'm not going to stress about it. It's pretty good. Okay, so there it is. Let's get it on an actual card base. And we will have made a card, and I have to run. I cannot believe I'm on here at 7 a.m. It's been a rough week. Oh, it's so good to see you. I know it has been a rough week. As I sit here and make a Cancer Sucks card. I know. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, Shay. So this is a 5x7 for those who were wondering. I did make the card a 5x7. You could have, it would be even cooler if we had a white mat around it. Hold the phone, hold on. Whoops. Let's try that again. And let's look at this as wrong. Oh, shucks. Okay, whatever. Now I have two A2 card bases. Hold on, hold on. Get it together, Bitty Benny. Use the wrong blade. All right, let's try that again. Let's just look at an A9 card base and see what it looks like. Just for fun. It doesn't have to stay A9. Gosh, I think I like it with a white border. What do y'all think? I'm going to hand deliver it. So it doesn't actually have to be a real card size. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't actually have to be an A9, an A7. None of that jazz. Besides, this will fit in an A9 envelope. I like it with a white border. The border is nice. I agree. We're gonna go for it. So this is a made up card size now. We went from a 5x7 to a made up size, and I like it. Okay. This is a masculine card. This is for a dude. By the way, if anybody was curious. But it could be for any. It doesn't have to be a dude card. It just is a dude card. There it is. We did it. It took me an hour, but hey, we had to make our own pattern paper here today, and that was fun. I mean, it's fun to make, you know, your own paper and just enjoy the process. I know, Sala, I gotta get going too. Hi, Heidi. I'm so late, but there's our card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the process. I don't even think I'm gonna color it anymore, but we'll see. But I may come in and, you know, bring in, if you wanted more detail, this is where you could bring in your colored pencils and, you know, darken, create some shadows and work with it. And just real quick, like, I'm going to show you one. And I totally have to go. I'm so late. I'm going to get the side eye today and deserve it. But you come in with your colored pencils, see? And so these two are looked the same, and now this one has some extra detail. So off camera, I could come in and color this up some more, add more detail. I'll probably do like the darker green for these. And then I could color this one if I want. So you can go as far as you want to go when you're creating your own pattern paper. That's it for now. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. Again, not live this weekend. I'll have a paper stash smash video tomorrow, and I'll have a sheet load on Sunday though. So I'll have some videos for you. All right, gotta go. Bye everyone.